Good time zone, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for hanging out with me today. We're going to jump into a Theros Beyond Death best of 3, a traditional draft here. I just got word that Wizards is making Brawl free and bringing back Theros ranked best of 1 as a response to the coronavirus outbreak and giving the Magic players out there something else to do while sequestering themselves inside right now. So thank you for that, Wizards. And it's going to open up our options for what we can draft going into the future. So I asked chat what we wanted to do today. And a little best of 3 won out, because this will probably be our last opportunity to do some best of 3 for a while if we switch gears to the best of 1 options coming up. So I'm excited about that. I'm also excited about my sponsor, CardKingdom.com. They are still selling cards as we experience this coronavirus outbreak, and the world is kind of slowing to a crawl, working from home. Thank you so much, Philhammer. Appreciate that. Appreciate the comment. But, you know, more than ever, we need some in-house entertainment, and we Magic players, maybe this is, you know, look, the irony of my situation is that, like, I think there are a lot of people who are like, well, as long as I'm stuck indoors, I'm going to do A, B, C, and D, and they have a laundry list of things that maybe they've been putting off that you can get done at home now, and maybe building that cube or blinging out that commander deck is one of those things you could a project you could do at home with Card Kingdom's help. But the my thing is, like, nothing, like, I don't get that. Like, there's nothing has changed for me except that I'm going to fewer rock shows. My to-do list is unchanged because it was all stuff that I needed to do indoors anyway. So I can't write the great American novel while holed up during the coronavirus outbreak. I just get to keep doing what I'm doing. So anyway, yeah, play some human drafts on Discord. That's a good thing. But the other thing that I'm excited about today about Theros Beyond Death is how close we are to completing our 4X here on this account. And I want to go and look at that. A big chunk of my audience is very interested in the free-to-play grind and how we approach getting up to 4X of a collection of the latest set. I'm going to check in on that progress right now. It means there's going to be a multi-minute gap in this video before we actually get to the draft. If you just want to get to the draft, you know, you're going to, maybe I'll even timestamp it. I'll try to find a timestamp and put that in the notes or whatever, but you can jump ahead. But I do want to go look at that now. So we're going to take a little jump here. We are going to look at where we're at with the collection before we kick off the draft here. And I'll cut this part out of no, I won't cut it out. That's the thing. Hi, YouTube. But YouTubers can skip if they don't want. And I want to show you, yeah, I'll get out of your way too. Thanks for the scene reminder. Let's Leo. The best thing for this is going to be, I think, me being here. So here we are in collection. I didn't open a deck. I just opened our collection. I'm going to show you the sort that there are tools you can use. I tried to see if how to look up my progress in like untapped.gg, and historically I've used MTGA Tracker, but I stopped using MTGA Tracker because it felt like it wasn't updated. And also, it seems like the third-party software tools that support MTG Arena understandably kind of shift all the time. And so I at least want to show you how you can do it within the client itself without using any third-party help to understand where you're at with a collection. One thing I wish Wizards would provide, and I'll show you there's a filter I would like here is, I don't even know what the label would be, but something to turn off the cards that aren't part of completing a set. Like, let me show you. So right now we're showing rare, collected and not collected in Theros Beyond Death, okay? And with collected and not collected, we're seeing what we have 4 of. So we're going to narrow this search a little bit more and go Q for quantity. And we're going to go the less than symbol because we want to see cards where the quantity is less than 4. So now we narrow it down to the cards we don't have 4 of. And this is where I would like some help from Wizards. Wizards is very confusing. And I know I've been in R&D. I understand the problems they're trying to solve and face with these intro pack, Planeswalker deck, unique Planeswalker deck cards that are not in the boosters of that set. It's a very confusing design decision. they're doing it to make the cards necessary to help new players, but it makes it very confusing for people like me who are trying to get 4x of a set via draft on Arena, but I can't tell unless I just know which ones are available in a booster and which ones aren't. When it comes to rares, it's pretty easy because at this point we have at least one of every rare. So everything that we don't have any of is one of these rares from an intro pack or a Planeswalker deck that we can't even get out of a booster. And the thing about the design of these rares from an R&D standpoint is they're not designed to be constructive competitive. They don't want Pro Tour players to give a darn about these cards. If they do, they've made a mistake. Like it's a not part of the brain space they want competitive Magic to even be thinking about. However, Wizards, give me a little filter or something that lets me say you know, only in boosters, or, you know, filter it down to just the what we're missing here, which is 3 Temple of Plenty, 1 Arasta, and 1 Archon. So we're actually 5 rares from completing our 4X of Theros. That's pretty sweet. Now let's check it out on our Mythics. We'll switch to Mythics. Mythics are even more complicated because you can often have 4 copies of a Mythic. You can often have 0 copies of a Mythic that is in boosters. For example, for whatever reason, we have yet to open an Elspeth Sun's Nemesis on this account. And so it's sitting here looking exactly the same as this Elspeth that we can't even find in packs. This is one of the Planeswalker deck Elspeth cards. This is the actual set Elspeth, and we don't have either, right? But if you look, we have 4. Like, I don't even know. I think this is in boosters. I've never played with or against Athreos in draft. Maybe it's not. Is this? I don't even know. Wizards, this is where I'm at. Like, I have no idea whether this is a card that I'm trying to get in boosters or not. It's not. Okay, so like that's just weird, Wizards, that I don't even know that from here, you know, or at least like put a star on it, put some icon on these cards that indicates that they're not in regular boosters. That would be lovely. I would love that. So anyway, we get 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Claw this is in boosters. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we have 16 Mythics and 5 rares to go. That's pretty sweet. If you look at our wild card count, we could basically just do it. Like, we could just construct the rest of our set. I don't want to do that, though, and here's why. We still have play left in the format. We may as well continue to play on this account and grind out the 4X naturally via play. What that's going to do is let us go into the next set with this huge store of mythic rares and rare wild cards, so that we get to play whatever constructed we want out of the gate in the next format. We can probably make, well, at least 1 tier 1 constructed deck with this, if not 2. The 15 mythics might be a barrier depending on the type of deck. But the point is, by not spending these to 4X ourselves here, we get to keep playing Theros on this account and build up a store of wild cards that we can use to come out of the gate strong and constructed when the next set releases. So, oh, sorry, I forgot my picture's covering it. Let me show you.
Your friend here is only mostly.
We are not mostly dead yet, folks. We're all the way live. But here's what I was trying to look at. We have 39 rares and 15 mythic rares is our count. See, Yankum didn't even realize Kenrith isn't in packs. You know, it's an annoying thing, Wizards, that we can't figure that out around here. I have maybe a couple packs. Yeah, if you want, like, effectively, here, we can go ahead and open these if you want. We get a couple closer. There's one of our temples. Yeah, it's also definitely nice to be able to, as Funky says, use our wild cards on constructed stuff that we can't get out of boosters, like the historic cards and everything. So we got our 4X of the spider. Sure, whatever, we'll open this. I think this should just be gems, so I'm going to have to take a count of gems. 20. We'll add this to the grind today. 40. Okay. Anyway, I wanted to check in on 4X progress and talk about how I was approaching it, given that we did have the wild cards, but I don't want to fill it out. And also to point out that when we get to 4x of the set, I'm going to switch to the daily free draft that we do to our other free-to-play account. Because once you have 4x to set, the returns on playing limited on that count are diminished, such that if you are a constructed limited mix player, I highly recommend building an account up to 4x like we're doing, and then retiring it from limited and just using it for your constructed fix. So once we 4x Theros, our main free-to-play account is going to become the account where I get my constructed kicks offline and grind the account for gold offline, and then we'll just build up this gold count until the next set. And then we should enter the next set with a huge pile of gold, a huge pile of wild cards. We can do any constructed we want, and we're set to, we'll be able to draft whatever we want out of the next set. So I'm just trying to set up our reality for the next set by our approach to what we're using our wild cards for and which accounts we're drafting on even at this point. So thank you for that excursion. I know some of you weren't too interested in that, but we can come back here now and get on with it. I'll even hop back here. I believe this is the mode where we left people, so I'll reset here. And hey, welcome YouTube skippers, you found it. Here we are, back to the actual draft part. Let's jump in. Oh yeah, sealed cube is going to be fun. Well, I guess we already have 4 Heliod because it wasn't part of our mix, but that's 40 gems. Oh yeah, sorry, get out of your way. I forgot the draft view. Elspeth's Nightmare is crazy good. Excuse me, crazy good. But we can still take Heliod. Yeah, good build around, right? What are we gonna wheel? Maybe we wheel this Will. Let me actually get in tune with Heliod here. Indestructible, yeah. Whenever you gain life, counter on target creature, enchantment you control, and activated lifelink. Yeah, that's certainly worth it. And we're just going to look for things that natural lifelink is a plus, but the activated is nice. But well, Haj, I haven't really played with or against it, so in a sense, I'm really assessing it right now. I guess we've played against it like once on stream, but in a lot of ways, this is me reading Heliod for the first time. But yeah, it seems great. We'll build around, obviously, but it does nothing without. I shouldn't say it does nothing. It is a self combo with the activated, but really to make this shine, you want stuff that inherently has lifelink, right? That's true. I suppose I see it in constructed sometimes, but I'm playing mono red, so I just scoop, so I barely even remember it. Okie dokie. What's just the best card here? Is it Anax? Is it Destiny Spinner? Is it Loathsome Chimera? Grove Dancer is likely to wheel and has incidental life gain of sorts. So we can take Destiny Spinner and maybe move that direction. Omen is fine. Omen is some natural lifelink for the Heliod. I just don't think it's good enough to take here. I think we should try and wheel that. And yeah, I like Spinner over the Anax. Although, yeah, the lifelink plus aggro doesn't make as much sense to me as going the green-white aura enchantment direction. Let's do this. Yeah, I think you're right, Deacon. Anax is better, but not the better pick here. Ooh, this is a tough one. We've got Nessian Wanderer. Great payoff for Constellation. Heliod's Pilgrim, though, is effectively a 2-for-1. You find yourself some removal, and this becomes a second copy of it. They both are 2-for-1s. I mean, this gets you so many lands. Pilgrim at least leans towards Heliod, which I like a little better. Wanderer is very good, but I'm sad about passing also the Chimera there. But Pilgrim is like also the only white card here. Pilgrim is a high white pick, and we do want to support Heliod, and this is Arena, where the bots really listen to signals quite strongly. So I think in a vacuum, I like the Wanderer a little more here, but with Heliod in our pile, I'm going to take the Pilgrim and try to cut white. And Wanderer, yeah, is not respected properly by bots. That's true. Here we can take a Fishify. Don't have to marry this Destiny Spinner. This is just kind of your best quality pick, but we could also take Blessing under the assumption that it's going to be a relevant factor in where we're headed. But I think I like power level pick here over on color weaker pick in this spot. Blessing can wheel. I'm going to take Fishify. We'll see. The other argument for Blessing is that if we take Blessing, we could still play the spinner. If we take Fishify, we're probably not playing the spinner. So Fishify represents an either or type pick. Although it's very early, I shouldn't make any conclusions about anything. We could bail on white at this point if the bots made it clear that that's what we're supposed to do. So let's take Fishify, keep ourselves relatively open. And then we come across this, and it's just like perfect for Heliod. So we're going to take Life's Bounty. Pegasus would be nice as well. Again, although it's activated lifelink for the same cost as Heliod, so it's not even like its natural lifelink is a relevant natural lifelink, whereas this is. Chimeras going around for free. Anybody wants Chimeras, this is the draft for you. I am sad about the number we're passing, and I don't know how bots are rating them. Maybe bots are snapping these up and we're not going to see green on the way back. But I'm going to take the Life's Bounty here pretty straightforwardly, I think. Then we get an interesting Cetessan Training, and I think we just have to grab that. Amulet is here also, but Training, but yeah, we could splash the blue, and Training just works with kind of everything we got going here. Another Life's Bounty. Return to Nature, Amulet, also jump out, Relentless Pursuit. This whole bottom row is interesting to me. Lamp Pad was an option, yeah, but I guess I didn't see starting that direction at that pick. Alter combos with Heliod, but that's kind of like making a bad card better. And you know, Abrupt, if we were seriously devoted on many axes, then I start liking the Alter for that effect. But I think observing that the Alter might turn on a Heliod is not a reason to play it still. Unless, you know, if we end up splashing, we'll see. But, you know, I would never run it in a 2-color deck just to get a bump to my devotion. So, anything worth pivoting for? This Rage Hound is kind of late, but I don't think we should pick up a red card here. Glory Bearers and Tower Scout are super boring, but they're serviceable. And we have no 4s yet. I'm just going to take a Glory Bearers. What gives lifelink? Are we on last pick? Nothing here does, right? I've lost to Clothy's design a couple of times, but I don't see running this unless you're very heavy green pips, right? I mean, I don't think it's underrated, Lonely. I think it's maybe, I mean, if you called it unplayable, that's underrating it, but I think it really needs the right deck. I don't think that's... Oh, Alter. Okay, thanks. Yeah. So Alter has some synergies it doesn't always have here. That's a good point. I still like the pick we made there, but reasonable. I'll keep that in mind. I'm going to take Bears here. Gift, Seaguard. Gift is so underwhelming, and I so want to use, you just don't have a lot of room for instants that don't reach out and kill things in this format. I'm going to take the Seaguard in case we end up white-blue. I mean, if we open a Dream Trawler, we're going to be happy I took this Seaguard. But look at this. I think we're in the right place. I like the Grove Dancer for the incidental life gain, but training is just too good. I'm going to take another training. Yeah, I'm with you, Sir Elgar, but these are so free in the format. Like, bots just don't care about the Grove Dancer, and we don't need a lot of them. So I'm going to take another training, which is a card I really like in the format. I think it synergizes so well on so many levels, and it has the word draw card on it, and it's 2 mana. You know, it's just like there's so much going right for this card that we're going to try and get some Grove Dancers later and do some training now. Take an Impending Doom and put it in the board, but let's remember it's there. I suppose things could, you know, we only have like the one good blue card, 3 good green cards, so I think we're probably doing green-white, but we'll take Impending Doom and keep it open. You want the wings? Again, I just, you know, in a Heliod's Pilgrim deck, I don't, and where we're going to be flying naturally, I just don't see that I'm going to end up running a wings in this deck. There are certain decks where I could, like, I like a red-green deck, I think is where you'd find me being happy to run a wings, but I'm not too happy to run a wings in a deck where I expect to have my own flying. Take a Rumbling Sentry. Try not to play it, but you could do worse. Chain if we end up blue, but I'm not going to even main deck it. Another Sentry. Sure, you can hang out in the main deck for now. Well, we have ourselves a decent rare. The all the words past First Strike generally don't matter, but the 2/1 enchantment creature First Strike is fine for 2. That being said, we have Warbriar Blessing, which is legit removal. We have Renata, which is very good. I've actually come down a bit on Renata, though. Her power always stays at 3. She seems very killable because of that. I tend, and also she doesn't do much on turn 4. Like one problem I've had with Renata is like, okay, great, I landed her on 4. She can't block anything. Like, I'm not putting her in front of anything, and then she has to live to start. And if she stays out, of course, the counters start flowing, and it's pretty good. But I've actually, and I still think Renata is a very good card, but I've come down on her since the beginning of the format for sure. And Blessing is just removal that we don't have yet. And with Pilgrim, it's like picking 2 copies of it. Hateful Eidolon is also tempting. You know, this is a card that would fit in with what we're doing, but we don't have any black yet, and I'm not looking to start now. When we have such good green and white cards. So I'm going to take a green card, and I think I'm going to take Blessing. I think it's where we want things in this deck here. I want first Blessing over first Renata, even though this is a common and this is an uncommon. So I don't know what you think of that, chat. Let me know if you disagree. And let me know on YouTube, too, what you take there. I'm very curious. Are you still up enough on Renata to go with that? I just felt like, especially with the Pilgrim saying taking Blessing is effectively taking 2 blessings, it was hard to pass. Speaking of hard to pass, look at this Final Death and Myers Grasp. But we do have a Pious Wayfarer that slots right into what we're trying to do here. I think we try and wheel a Sentinel's Eyes. Heliod's Punishment is okay in aggro, but we're not even sure we're going to be that aggro. We're kind of going to be mid-range here. Classic, it looks like classic limited mid-range, where we try to grind some advantage in the middle of the game and make our creatures a little bigger than theirs, get some card draw, you know. Surge has, oh yeah, Triumphant Surge does have some synergy with Heliod because it gains life, but you know, we'll try and wheel that. We're not going to take that here over Pious Wayfarer, which with the double training and Destiny Spinner and double bounty, like look at our first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 picks. Our first 7 picks in curve order trigger a Pious Wayfarer. So yeah, let's take the Wayfarer and try to get a couple more of them and be pretty aggro. I was just calling ourselves mid-range, but you know, if you start with Wayfarer and move into this stuff, your mid-range is even better. Blessing or Training. We have seen Training wheel pretty reliably. We have the 2 already, so I'm going to take first Blessing over a third Training, but frankly, if third Training comes around, I'm going to take and play it. Trouser says Training for sure. I don't know if you're talking about this pick or the previous one, but I like first Blessing over third Training. and we'll try and wheel this one. I think we might wheel this one, Krauser. And I would play it though. I mean, a couple of Pious Wayfarer, you know, we have 3 playable 1-drops right now. If we got a couple more and we're just going these 1-drops into trainings, into Heliod or whatever, we're going to be quite happy. Let's take first blessing to make sure we get one, and then we'll see if we wheel that one. Well, Boros could have been a direction here. Haktos is quite excellent, but we get another Pilgrim over Grove Dancer or Caryatid. And maybe this, like I said, the bots don't care about Grove Dancer, so I'm thinking we're going to wheel this. And we're 2 green now. I'm not going to bail on green for Haktos Pack 2, Pick 4. Yeah, Pilgrim again for sure. If you somehow ended up Boros in this draft, you're going to be pretty pleased. I think the Boros build is looking pretty good too, but I'm not unhappy with where we're at. And look at that. Yeah, your Boros deck is looking sweet. But we have another training to pass. We're going to take a Horn Beetle instead. Are we at a Siona deck yet? We have 1, 2, 3. Not yet. We're only at 3 right now. We're gonna take it. There's nothing else here to take, but we're not a Siona deck yet, Dynamo. That's why this card is so bad. why Siona is so hard to make work, I should say. Why Siona is so build around, because you really need a depth of auras before she's good. And like, I've been excited about 2 Pilgrims because we have quasi 5, right? We have if you count Pilgrims as auras, then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but 4, 5, but you can't count Pilgrims as auras for the purposes of Siona. So how many auras counts as a Siona deck? I'm probably running her grudgingly. Well, it depends on what else I have to play, of course, right? DG. It fundamentally is like, what am I playing instead is an important question. But I think generally I'm not happy with Siona until I've got at least 5 auras, because then you're talking about 5 in 40 is 1 in 8, and 1 in 8 is close enough to Siona's 1 in 7 that you're getting into that range of, yeah, I'm decently likely to hit with her. But it's 6 plus before you're like, yeah, I pretty much get something with her every time, or it's unusual when I don't. I hear you, Dynamo. It's just I'm saying we have the great potential to be a Siona deck, but we're not a Siona deck yet. We're gonna take her and try to become one. Here we just take a Moss Viper to add to our suite of playable 1-drop creatures, because Moss Viper could wear a training. We might wheel another training, and I love having, and Moss Viper with Warbriar is also nice. So yeah, as True points out, so Deacon would rather have the 2, and I get it, but I think with where we're headed, I'm going to take the Moss Viper because I like this ability to do training blessing on 2, possibly. You might not think, like, if we're on the draw and they go turn 1, whatever, turn 1 we go Viper, they go turn 2 decent, Destiny Spinner, we're happy to go turn 2 blessing the Viper, kill the Destiny Spinner or whatever. So we're going to take the Viper and really get low down here. Maybe we're going to be much more aggro than I thought. We could cut this blue, cut this medium white. Heck, and if we cut this Glory Bearers that I don't love, I'm not going to, because right now we'd certainly play it, but you can see that the heart of our curve is right now 1 through 3, which is fantastic, and I want to keep leaning into that. And to that end, we have Sentinel's Eyes or Binding or Tower Scout. Sentinel's Eyes, probably the pick, but I want to be careful about creatures. It does increase our aura count for our friend Siona. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we're actually doing good on creatures too. Yeah, let's take the eyes. If we were desperate for creatures, I would consider the Tower Scout for desperation, but we're actually doing quite nicely on creatures, so let's grab the eyes. You want to cut the beetle. I don't think so. I know it doesn't look like we have 4 power or whatever, but when you're running a couple of Cetessan trainings and Heliod, you get to 4 power soon enough. And it's fine as, you know, as a 2/2 for 2 lightning rod, you can do a lot worse. Oh boy. 4-drop Pegasus, Second Eyes. I don't think I want... Do we want a Second Eyes yet? Kind of want the Grove Dancer here. But Pegasus, yeah, Pegasus is tempting. Yeah, you're right. Pegasus is better. I just am trying to lean low, but you're right. Pegasus is better enough than Grove Dancer that we have to take it. We'll get free Grove Dancers later, right? And here's the Second Eyes I'm willing to pick up. And look at this. Boy, you're the hero if you pick Boros this draft. Nah, I didn't count Heliod as a creature. Heliod's an aura for us for the most part, and if he happens to become a creature, great. There's that free Grove Dancer. This is really what I was thinking about in terms of the wheel anyway. Familiar? Maybe. Sometimes I've been playing this. I'm happy to run familiars when I get multiple staggering insight. Some of my favorite decks in this format so far have been my 2+ staggering insight decks. And in each of my 2+ staggering insight decks, I've run at least one familiar and been super happy with that. Dropping an insight on familiar on 4 is quite good. But yeah, we'll keep it on. Yes, you need to really be putting something on it for it to be worthwhile, for sure. This is a garbage pack for us. We can take Indomitable Will. It further supports Siona. Doesn't mean it's likely we're gonna be thrilled to play it, but also it's instant speed, Enchantment Fall, instant speed Constellation is nice. Yeah, we could just take gems, but on this account we don't need to worry about gems anymore. If you are, but it's a good. Thank you for calling it out though, Krauser, because I like to model different behavior for different types of free-to-play or different types of arena players. And we are on a flush account that doesn't need to be gem conscious in its picks. So I'm not really thinking about the breach. We already have 4 copies of it anyway. So it's not collection building. It's just gem taking. And we have enough spare gems that I'm going to go for win EV. But if you are someone who drafts free-to-play regularly and regularly find yourself running out of resources, this is an easy Underworld Breach pick, because the opportunity cost is this on Indomitable Will, which is not that great. And whenever you can take a gem pick without even costing you much of a pick for your deck, it's a pretty reasonable cha-ching. Could this be a Skirmisher deck? I think it's still underwhelming. The problem, Coolio, is, I have played Skirmisher because sometimes you need a 2-drop. The fundamental floor of 2-powered 2-drop with no downside text makes it playable. But it's never going to be good because, frankly, if it were always on, if it were always a 3/2, it would still just be okay. Asteroid wants to gem pick even here. We might wheel this will, but with the Siona that we're trying to hit capacity on, I'm not going to mess around. I'm just going to take the will. We're flush. We don't need no stinking gems. Another Sentinel's Eyes. That's too many Sentinel's Eyes. It's kind of a nightmare to pass your second nightmare. But there's nothing for us here. This is best of 3. We could take Petitioner. I guess we might be up against something aggro, but even then, it's like I just don't like this card. Rise is splashable, but do we want to splash? I guess the opportunity cost is low, but I would almost want to splash the Nightmare, although Nightmare's strength is in being a turn 3 play. Yeah, Pack 3 has not been kind to us so far, right? What do we want here? I'm going to take Pursuit, but maybe I'll take an Omen in case we do decide to splash. Or I could take I guess I could take the Rise, and then maybe we wheel the Omen, but we probably just wheel another Eyes. So yeah, I'll take the Rise on spec. Envoy is something we would love for our deck. Here's another Hero of the Nyxborn. There's like 12 of these for the Boros drafter this draft. We're going to try and wheel this Grove Dancer. There's another training that also might wheel. We can take an Envoy, but with best of 3, we can't really pass the intervention. Yeah, Envoy is lovely. I'm with you, Brian. But this is best of 3 especially, where this utterly wrecks some opponents. So we got to take this for its capacity to wreck. Here's another Moss Viper we could take to stay low down. Here's the Wardens that Luis talked a lot about on LR last week, is somewhat being a trap card, or one of the traps of this format being too much Constellation, not enough enchantments. And Wardens is one of the cards that can kind of get you into that too much Constellation side of things. Here's an Omen we could grab to support the Rise. But yeah, this is best of 3. I do like a Warden. It's probably going to wheel, though. We could also take Birth of Meletis. This is an enchantment for enchantment fall. It's not very aggro. It kind of goes against the Pious Wayfarer direction. I'm with you, Jikerman. There's nothing wrong with this card. It's just that it's not really it's not really doing this deck's plan, right? Like, yeah, Unicorn is doing this deck's plan more than Birth of Meletis here. I don't like it. And I probably don't even want to run it. We probably want to stay at 16 and cap at 4s. But there's nothing, like, I almost want to just take the Moss Viper on that tack. Yeah, in fact, I get it. I get the Unicorn. I'm going to stay low down, taking the Moss Viper over the Birth of Meletis, which is a better card in the abstract. But this, again, is more what we're doing. Here's a Wardens we could take. Here's a Unicorn we could take. I guess I'll take the Unicorn here. But I guess Wardens is cheaper. If we're trying to stay low down, we could take the first Warden. These are both underwhelming, and I kind of don't care which. I guess, in fact, maybe this is where I'll take Gems. I don't think either of these are important enough to the deck to not just take some Gems here. I don't have to gem draft with this account, but sometimes the value proposition is too, in my opinion, straightforward. Moss Viper again. I don't think we want 3, though. Hero, a little bit underwhelming, but Hero being targeted by these trainings isn't the worst. All right, we found an Envoy. We were hoping to pick up one of these. One of our last chances to grab an Envoy, and it came through. Hey, nice. Another Wayfarer. I was also sad about our lack of Wayfarers. This Blessing, oh my gosh, the Boros deck. The Boros deck. But seems like you always pass some deck that makes you cringe, right? You gotta move on. Not worth splashing Blessing when Wayfarer is basically exactly what we want, Jikerman. Don't think we're going to be using this, but I don't know. Who calls? I'm going to say, I don't know who you are, so go away. All right, we did wheel an Omen. We could grab it. Don't we have one? I guess I'll, I don't think we're splashing. I'm going to go, but in case we decide to, I'll go with Omen over the Relentless Pursuit. I think we're not running a Relentless Pursuit in this deck either. It's too clunky. We want to be a little bit more streamlined. Oh, the Boros. And here's that Wardens. Do we have... okay, good. I'm glad we got one Wardens. Probably starting this in the board, but against Flyers, we could bring that in. And... in what decks is Pursuit playable? I haven't touched it. Oh, Keeper Boy. It's not that bad a card at all. Pursuit largely plays like a draw 2, but it plays like a draw 2 that feeds your escape. So in particular, Pursuit is at its best in black-green. And in black-green, you have a ton of escape creatures at low rarities, and Pursuit in black-green almost comes off like a draw 3, because you get... let's say you look at your top 4 and there's 2 creatures or 2 lands and a creature and an escape creature. You take a land and a creature and then you bin your escape creature. And not only have you effectively drawn a card by binning your escape creature, The other two cards, the Pursuit itself and that other land, are fuel to escape that card. So it's quite good in the right deck. But this is respectable. Maybe is the right way to put it, as Davis Shark says. Davy Shark. Very respectable mid-late pick for a green-black deck, but it's not what we want to do here, really. I'm going to take the Wardens over the second Omen. I just don't think we're going to splash. We don't need it here. All right, 80 gems on the grind, plus 40 from those packs I opened. So I want to update my results before I forget. That especially. When I don't update right now, I forget how many gems we ground, and then I have to go back and watch my own videos later, and that's boring. I mean, it's awesome. You should all watch my videos multiple times. All right, we're going to be straight white-green here. And then no gold, 1,500 gems, and we ground 120 so far. All right. Sure enough. Where is it? Oh, is it not on this one? For some reason, I don't think I have it on this scene. I gotta switch scenes. There it is. Here, copy it and put it on this scene. All right. Deacon's a little concerned about staple green-white commons. I like the deck. I think we're a little short. You're right, though. The deck is missing. Let's see. We got no apathy, and we had to pass a bunch of chimeras. So we are leaning a little bit more heavily on Heliod than I'd like to. But we also have a nice curve here. We have 3-4 drops, and that's the top of our curve right now. Definitely 16 lands. Not going to go to 15, even though we're drawing off the training as well. It's just that we just need this much in terms of ratio. We want the chance of drawing a forest or a plains to be high enough that we get both of our colors early. Let's see. Let's look at our total numbers. 18 creatures, 8. We want to cut probably get rid of this familiar. We could cut a Viper as well. Is that our worst creature? Probably. That, or Grove Dancer has the incidental life gain, so we want to keep that. Horn Beetle is a lightning rod, and we can get 4-powered creatures around here. Glory Bearers is weak, but we don't have much at 4, so we might as well have a little something going on there. Yeah, what's our enchantment count? We have 13 enchantments. That's good. I like our enchantment count for the deck, but we certainly shouldn't cut an enchantment, so it should be Hero or Viper. I don't want to cut Glory Bearers because it triggers too much of our stuff. Yeah, we can cut a Viper and bring it in if we're facing a lot of ground beef. This is best of 3 after all. 6 Auras says cut a Pilgrim. Disagree, Wizard. Why does 6 Auras say cut a Pilgrim? I think Hero is better than Wardens. We need win conditions. We need to make sure we have ways to win, and it's not sexy, but Setessan training on a Hero to make a 2/4 flyer is not the worst, you know. It doesn't get much removal, but it's at what point? Here's a question for chat. how many auras before you cut a pilgrim? Like how many targets before you say we can't run 2 pilgrims, we've got to cut one? For me, 6 is easy run 2. I'm not cutting a pilgrim until we're down to like 3. If we had 3 auras, I would cut a pilgrim. And even then it's close. I think I've run 2 pilgrims and 3 auras before. You just don't want to draw your auras before the pilgrims. Obviously, if the pilgrim has no targets, it's a bad card. But at 4, if I have 4 targets, I'm really happy with 2 pilgrims. So 6 is just extra happy for me. Yeah, Deacon talks about quality of auras. Assume the auras are reasonable. And with 6 auras, I actually am okay with Siona, but we're still likely to miss with her. You know? That being said, she has some value after the fact of being targeted by stuff. So we'll run her, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's it, unfortunately. I wish our auras were a little better. Like I said, we missed out on the apathy. Apathy would have been great. Yeah, Krauser, it's too bad. Siona, like, you could have made it 6. Did it have to be 7? What about, I mean, sorry, you could have made it 8, but that's maybe too much. She's a tough card, because, man, you make that number too big, and then, or maybe just make her a, maybe, what if she were 2 mana? Maybe that becomes a little too rare. All right, what are we calling this? We've got some training, we've got some will, we've got some eyes on the training eyes, eyes on the training, bounty. We've got a lot of bounties, wayfarers. We're oring. Let the puns flow through me. I don't know. They're not coming to me today. Help me out. Training montage. Yeah, it could be about life link. It could be about gods. Eyes were... Dude, their eyes were watching God. Get really literary. Little Zora Neale. I'm just going to go with that. And let's see, we had... I'm going to switch the lands. Those of you who... I know we're doing Theros lands, so while I'm doing this, if you had box or sleeves, let me know what we're doing on that front while I get the lands in place. Siona. Yeah, Tron, you want to see your sleeve options? We got your rat sleeve and a couple of animated sleeves. This one and this one. Ooh, and this one. Got this one. I don't know what that is. What are the new lands? Where is Tron picking the lands here? Sad McKinnon, that's this one, right? Oh. Alucardio wants to run 17, not with 2 trainings. I know we have the Destiny Spinner, but I think with the 2 trainings and the low curve, we're gonna have the land we want. Oh, the one, this is Seb. Okay, thanks. And we'll take a look at the lands later. Let's get to playing for right now. I want to move on. we can't name it this. All right. I like training montage. I'm gonna go with that. Ooh, Sun in Our Eyes is good. I'm gonna do that instead. You win me. You won me over. Sorry, training montage person. Sun in Your Eyes is good. I like that. You said our. I said your. I like your. Keeper Boy says, is 2 trainings really enough to drop a land? No. 2 trainings in and of itself is not enough to drop a land, but have you looked at this curve? We got 3 4-drops. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 3-drops. We have a grand total of 7 cards over 2 mana. Like, if there's a problem with this deck is that we didn't get enough top end. So it is the double training plus a complete lack of top end that makes me want to go 16, not just 2 trainings. Very important distinction. Also, the fact that we are quite likely to play our trainings on turn 2. Often you rely on something like a training to be more land or deck depth, but if you're not doing it on 2 and you need that 3rd land, you haven't really solved the problem that way. But in this case, we have 4 creatures we can cast on turn 1, so training actually has a legit shot at drawing a card on 2. I did a 15-land 2-color deck, but it was kind of like white splash blue. All right, let's get on with it, and I will get to the right place in the battlefield. I will give you a free profit meme, and I will update our numbers. We are 0 and 0. And we are THB Bo3. There we go. All right. Definitely want to play first with this deck. And unfortunately, we did not find any of our 1-drops, but it's still a very nice hand. We're going to keep this quite happily. Question is Spinner or Grove Dancer on 2? It might depend on what colors they show. Grove Dancer is the less important creature, which I usually like to lead with, but Spinner at 3 toughness legit gets through stuff that Grove Dancer doesn't. So I'm going to go ahead and play the Spinner, because it's quite likely that as a green deck, Oppo's going to manage a 2/2 or something of their own. And if we get Destiny Spinner on 2 and a training on it on 3, we have to attack through 2/2s. So I'm going to risk the Spinner because it has that much of a higher chance of getting through a creature play from Oppo. We do risk, you know, we're going to, if they have a Mire or whatever, yeah, see, there you go. Exactly what I'm talking about. If we had played Grove Dancer, we'd be trading off, but as it is, we can attack here, and I can put training on it, but we don't need to. I think we just get in for the 2, and then Heliod or Pilgrim. Probably don't even want a Heliod now. It's not doing anything yet. So we're going to just Pilgrim after we attack. That's true, Haj. Haj points out we can activate, like, if we played Heliod, we could have Activate and Blessing up. But I kind of want to empty my hand before I start leaving my mana up to do that kind of thing, right? Haj, don't you agree? I mean, you're not wrong, but are you saying you would lead with Heliod here? I feel like we should dump our hand first and then land Heliod and go to town. Here, we're going to get our removal out of this deal. Yeah, Nightmare would be pretty bad here, but what are you going to do? At the very least, if it's Nightmare, we only lose like a training. We'll Blessing and kill the Grove Dancer, and it won't be that bad. Oh, I guess we can't... Oh, all right, all right. This is a powerful magic card, that's for sure. Let's see. What are we doing? Sorry, I gotta check something. All right. Yeah, we can go double attack, see how they block, right? And then blessing potentially afterward. I kind of want to tempt them into a block, Mike. If we put training on the 2-3, we make a 3-3 that they'll never block. But if we attack as is, it's possible they'll try a double block on the spinner. I know that's not a strong chance, but I'm going to give it a shot. Because I think if they, but here's the thing. I want them to try and eat something because then we can bless and fight, and then they don't have anything for the first Eroan games. If they block anything here, I'm thrilled. Yeah, they're doing it correct and not blocking. Sure, Mike, and that's our fallback plan now, but you see what I was doing there? If they had come up with any block there, we get to wipe their board ahead of the games. So I at least wanted to give them a chance to make that mistake. It didn't cost us much because we can still do Grove Dancer, leave Blessing up, or we can do the training now anyway. It kind of reveals that we were holding it back, but yeah, we can Blessing their Grove Dancer, but I think I like leaving our own Blessing up. Yeah, we could put Heliod in Blessing, but I think we save. I think I like ending the turn here and keeping our Blessing up. I know they get a 5/5, but we can manage that. Well, maybe we can't manage that. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Lizard is right that like the play of blessing the Grove Dancer keeps them from having a 5/5. We may at this point just have to leave a bunch back and double block and blessing to kind of 2-for-1 the Grove Dancer. Yeah, Jikerman, that's fair. It's hard to see all that. I was trying to be careful with the blessing, but maybe it was time to do it. Well, come on. Yes, it's a 6/6 trample, but we hardly knew that going into the turn. Now we're going to probably have to train something up to 3 power and bless the Herald. So we go training, green blessing, and then have white blessing to try and win against the remaining 5/5. I think it'll still work out, Craig. That was a tough spot. A lot of fiddly possibilities with that particular decision. I think it was probably correct. Well, I don't want to be results-oriented. We didn't know exactly how things were going to go out, but it's not results-oriented if the stuff was on board, and I think preventing the 5/5 made some sense. So, yeah, we could bless. There's some ways we can do it. But anyway, we're going to take this, and we're going to see about figuring it out on our turn. So we training. Oh, didn't we? I think we needed land to do everything we wanted to do. Right? Because we go bless. And this gives +2/+2. And we can't get anything up to 5 here. Yeah, I guess we have to train and pray for land. I think that's correct. And is this right? Or no, we want to do, I got to do this right. Sorry, my heuristic is like leave multiple open, but we want blessing plus, no, we do want blessing and blessing, so we got to leave both open, right? That's just fine. And I'll do it here. Found the land, got lucky. We do get now blessing here. I'd rather be lucky and good. Why attack? Oh, it was indestructible. Sorry, my bad. How was it in... Oh, because of blessing. Yeah, sorry. I forgot. I totally forgot the blessing. Sorry, chat. You can punt that if you want. But it's true. It is a blocker. But again, it's like a punt not to think about it, right? I don't, you know, sometimes I make mistakes and they turn out to be, I make mistakes of lack of consideration that turn out to be okay, but I do not let myself off the hook for failing to consider the situation. And we're not gonna risk our spinner here. I don't know what they've got, but maybe they just have gumption. All right. Heliod. Then spin some destinies, and if they double block, we blow them out. Attack with Lifelink Pilgrim. Why would we attack with Lifelink Pilgrim? Do we want to... I want to save Will for possible double blocks. I'm gonna send the spinner, and what I do depends on how they block. Okay, if they're gonna do that, then yeah, let's lifelink. And I'm gonna target the Grove Dancer, and that gets to be 3 power and threatens to block Renata, which is why I'm saying, like, oh, well, Renata gets to a bonus from the Herald, so but in that case I would double block. All right, thank you for that, Oppo. Now let's just go here. I'm willing to trade this countered up Grove Dancer for whatever trick they've got. Let's see. Is there anything? I just want to make sure it's nothing on board. Also, well, at 15 we could just take it. We can double Heliod lifelink and we don't really care. So actually, you know, whatever. Mike wants to go for the trade, but Mike, look, like, we're in such a good spot, right? Like, yeah, also they would get it back to hand with binding. So I'm just going to take it, and I'm going to move in on the Heliod lifelink plan, and we don't really care about 5 damage. I think they're just doing what they have to, which I get. I guess I don't need to activate before we try to get in. I'm going to leave the Pilgrim back, though. Well, I guess, yeah, we could will the Pilgrim and make it a 2/4 out of the blue, and then yeah, it's not worth it. I'm going to leave the Pilgrim back. Too late, Mike. Yeah, I could have put this out for protection. I figured Will would get that done. And this, I didn't even want to show them. So I did consider it. I didn't say it out loud, but I feel like we have the protection. Although, you know, But maybe added protection would have been correct. Because this is protection they don't know about. This would be on-board protection. But if they do something... yeah, so like I think we'll be okay here. 5, 6. And both of our creatures get out of range with it with the Indomitable Will. I hear you, Subgnosis, but then I can't activate Heliod, and I do want to get our life total out of range. So attacking, yeah, maybe I'm being too slow about it, and perhaps your line, Sub, just closes out the game faster. I'm being a little more cautious, I guess. But I'm going to play this here and have him bounce. And also to double lifelink. And I do think I want to double lifelink here over the Alseid. It may be fancy play, but I'm just trying to spread the love around here with our powerful card and hope it gets there. Why not have a 3/4 blocker? Doesn't it have to go on? Oh yeah, I was moving all in on the stuff I'm attacking with, but that was a misread of my Heliod. I was thinking it said target enchantment creature or enchanted creature. I thought it was that line of text. I read it and then mistranslated in my head. It's true that, again, the decision may still well have been to put the counters here, but again, I at least need to acknowledge that I misapplied my strategy based on a misremembering of the card. So, yeah, it all worked out, but a little bit of a clunky game here. We'll see if we can tighten up for the next one. I'm going to play this this time. And let's see, we got trample on the spinner. Now maybe we just make a big land, right? I want to make sure this makes a trample. Okay, 7/7 trample land is gonna get us there with the Destiny spinner as well. So let's just do that. Well, how are they going to win from here? I mean, maybe I'm missing something I should look for. Yeah, they're... maybe y'all found a slightly better line than me there, but sure felt like sending in 2 huge tramplers, despite the lack of lifelink, made it really impossible for them to win. Yeah, maybe not lethal, but effectively lethal. What I was about to start talking about was what they could possibly have to win the game on the following turn. Maybe there's something I'm not thinking of, and maybe the time-traveling supercomputer supports whatever line you came up with to protect that win to the most optimal way we got there, but a little bit of a clunky game. Let's take a look at what we're up against. Black-green, we can assume, the first Erodin games is rough. Looks mostly like, what do we see in black? Like, they showed swamps, but they literally only played green spells, so that's something to keep in mind. Let's see. For green, black, I don't like the Wardens. I don't like... we might want the Moss Viper number 2. Although over what? Like... But they are making some big stuff on the ground, so I kind of do like another Moss Viper. And I'm going to cut something for it, though. We're going to cut something. And that cut is going to be... Could even be the Beetle. Maybe it's the Hero. I'm going to cut the Hero, although flyers are pretty good around these parts. But yeah, I'm going to cut the Hero. Keeps our enchantment count going. Keeps our curve low. And I like another cheap Death Toucher against green. And against the green we saw from Oppo there. My wife's waving at me. What is she doing here? This is a Wednesday and it's 10:27 Seattle time. What are you doing here? Get out of my world! I mean, hi. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna unplug you. What's this cord over here for?
Don't kick the cord.
I will kick the cord.
This is a pretty rough opener for a low-down aggro deck, 5 lands. I mean, this is a pretty good one, too. But boy, do we need some help from there. I'm going to mulligan this. Yeah, I like this better. And what are we getting rid of? Maybe the Moss Viper, because we go Alseid into Grove Dancer, into Eyes with the Blessing up. There's something to be said for keeping all the creatures, though. We're furthest away from Grove Dancers. What do you mean, Jikerman? It's a 2-drop. It's a 2-mana 2/2. I like that. Eyes doesn't leave up Blessing is true. But I wonder if we would rather have Eyes than the Blessing then. I'm going to give up the Viper. Yeah, this is like interaction removal. We found a Viper anyway. There you go. In fact, we want to lead on it. Because kind of like I'll say it with more of the possibility of mana up. And also, if we happen to draw, say, one of our 2 Wayfarers, we'll be happy that we held the Alseid in hand. So I'm going to go Viper. And we'll try to drop Alseid with activation mana up. Eyes on Alseid is fun, but we're not going to get there first anyway. We're going to go Grove Dancer next. We could put Eyes on the Moss Viper. 2/3 Vigilant Death Touch. Not the worst, especially backed by a Blessing. But I think I just like offering the Viper for their Grove Dancer and dropping our Grove Dancer. It is a 2/2? What are you talking about, Nantuko? Escape fuel, except not much. They're going to kill 2 of it. That kind of sucks to lose those, but we got some play here. I'm gonna go with Bounty, Hold Up Blessing. Oh, sorry, it was a 2/2. Yeah, you're right. I don't know how I got 2/3 in my head. Sorry, Nantuko. Thank you for the correction. And yeah, I'll say it's swing all, because actually though I don't mind. I'll trade either one of these. I want to put eyes on Alseid, although maybe it should go on Dancer. Maybe. I'm going to leave Blessing up this turn regardless, Wizard. Like, I like having this Blessing available. Next turn we can decide where to put the eyes and still have the Blessing available. And that's true. If we suit up Alseid, it makes us less inclined to want to sack it. Although if we do sack it, we get the eyes back, so it's not a big deal to sack it either. Uh, 5/2, nothing. Like, we could just eat that thing, get indestructible. Yeah, I suppose trading Blessing for a 5/2, getting 3 life, and I mean it's 5/2 for this turn only. It still just kind of feels like trading for the Grove Dancer, which is not amazing, but probably worth it here. Funny. Got our other one. Can kind of dump our hand here. Yeah, we got eyes on Dancer to allow swings, and then double Alseid to protect it. Can even play this one, protect them both for for what it's worth, which is not much here. Oops. That was a mistake. I forgot hitting attack all would send in Alseid, and now my my mistake is deadly. Just a misclick. You know, I'm not going to make that mistake in paper, so I'm going to let myself off easy, because there's not much to learn from that mistake other than slow down a bit. I try to take the lessons from where I can actually improve my game very seriously, but that was just a misclick. Ouch. Matters, though. Oh, I hit attack all and sent in a life's bounty to be suicided. There was no, like, I just gave up a life's bounty for no reason at all. I said, here, Oppo, have a card and 1 mana. Mike getting apocalyptic on us. All right, let's see if we can win this anyway. We still have good attacks, at least, as long as I don't attack all. So we're going to do that. Man, we'd be so much better off, though, if we could trade Alseid for each of these instead of 1. But gotta let it go, Ryan. You messed up, and that's the way of it. Also gotta be careful, like, they're not playing white, but, you know, you can do the thing where you're like, oh, I need to give it pro-white so that it wins combat, and then you drop off the aura, so careful of that. We're gonna give it pro-green. And if this is nothing, if Oppo's sitting on a land up here and they don't draw much action, we're still in a good spot. Binding is good for them long term, but short term we're still okay. Yeah, right? 2 Alseid would be insane. Are you kidding me? In this case, we can train the Wayfarer, pump the Wayfarer, and then all 3 attacks are trades for Renata. I'm going to do that. Hey, thanks for the host, Magic. Oh, Destiny Spinner, eh? Well, let's throw... I mean, we are showing where we're at here, but let's... What do we want to survive the most? Because we can put a +1/+1 counter on one of these 2 and they live. So let's figure out which one do we not want them to kill. Probably the Wayfarer with the stuff on it, because if this dies, we get the Sentinel's Eyes back. So we'll pump the Wayfarer to keep it... Also has Trample. Yeah, the question was which 3/3, right, Mike? And I think the Wayfarer makes sense because I just compared which one we'd rather have die, and we'd much rather have the Grove Dancer die. Just so. Of course, they're going to get rid of the eyes here, so getting the eyes back isn't going to happen, but we do have Destiny Spinner. If we get it land, we can start activating the Spinner for 2/2. They're at 8. Just trying to pressure them before they can... get around the corner. Yeah, Mike, we lose the eyes, but right, wasn't that still correct? Again, I didn't think about losing the eyes, but I still think I would have done that attack. And this gives haste, right? Haste, so it doesn't really matter which I pick. A little bit rickety here, but we're trying to crawl our way to 2-0. I mean, on the match. 1-0 on the day. 1-0 on the day, 2-0 in the match. Good point, Mike. Yeah. Maybe thinking about the eyes going away would have changed where that belonged. Although, I sure liked having that Wayfarer out so that any enchantment we drew was going to trigger the Wayfarer. All right. We got there on the 1-0. Thanks for... Well, I haven't added this to decks yet. Add that. Fair enough, Nantuko. Dangerous thinking to get into the deserving mind space when it comes to Magic. I mean, we see again and again and again. I punt all day long and win over 60% of my matches, so there is a lot of tolerance in the game for making some errors and still having success. We're not going to keep this, though. I'm going to mulligan and look for something a little better on a start. Replace anything here besides the Moss Viper with a Plains, and I'm pretty happy, but we got to throw this back, too. Our deck mulligans pretty solidly, though. We could easily end up with a 5-card hand that we could craft into something quite nice on the curve out. Now we're kind of in for it. What do we do? Why couldn't you be a Plains? Then we'd have exactly the kind of thing I'm talking about, where, okay, we can work with this. I think we got to keep, though. We can't go to 4, so we got to ditch Hero and one of these eyes, and then hope we find a Plains. Is it greedy at this point, Fiddles? I think it's a desperation keep is how I would put it. I know what you're saying, Windraven. Like, we don't actually need this forest, so like we could have, like, if we'd pitched a forest, maybe maybe that's okay. But we do need the lands eventually, so I mean, it's a forest is just the worst draw in our deck, though. You're not wrong about that. But interesting. I didn't, you know, it's so hard to even think of the play of leaving yourself with one land on a mulligan, but maybe it was correct there. Thanks, deck. We'll get him in 3. We'll get him in 3. Good draw, deck. Love it. They'll never know what our second color is this way. What an advantage in game 2 that will be. Hey, one chance here. All right, all right. How do we want to approach this? We can go... Let's assume we draw plains next turn. If we draw plains next turn, we'll want... we'll wish we had Pious Wayfarer out, right? Are we attacking? I don't think we want to attack. I think we want to leave the Viper back to threaten a block. I'm not trading 1 for 4. So yeah, even though it's not the maximum use of our mana. Man, everybody wants to swing in. Nobody wants to just trade off with the Marauder. My instinct in this situation is to try to trade. But we're going to start with the Wayfarer. And I'm going to do my instinct and just stay back and try to trade for a 4-3. That's not bad. That's kind of what the Viper's job is. But I don't even care about, like, the weight. Like, we're up against it. I'm not even thinking about turning the corner yet with, like, Wayfarer activations. Oh, thanks, Forrest. Yeah, we wanted you for sure. Thanks. Because, like, what is... Nothing gets in here. You know, there's no... If we put the eye on the snake, it's a 2-2 that then becomes a 3-3 for the turn. And everybody wants to trade here. I guess now that we're happy to trade with these, sure. Bears is a 4-5, also probably reasonable. Thing with Sentinel's Eyes, though, if it dies, we can still do that play, War Furnace. So, I mean, not yet. We need some fodder for it. But the Viper will be some. Chump with Wayfarer to get eyes back. Oh yeah, right, to have something else die. Yeah. Well, there's our planes. Your late planes, suffice it to say. But we're gonna go bearers for now. No, we never even drafted a unicorn, I don't think. Or if I did, I cut it because we want to stay mean and low to the ground. Oh, yeah, it doesn't matter because I'm leaving the Wayfarer back, following Mike's plan of chumping with the Wayfarer simply to get fuel enough for the eyes to turn our bearers into a 4-5, and then we actually have blocks. Probably go for the bearers. We're going to go ahead and chump with the Wayfarer anyway. And if we find... oh, we can't because of the tap. Sorry, forgot the unicorn was going to do its thing. We really do want to find something to trade with so we can get the eyes on defense. I mean, I was feeling like we were going to lose this game when we mulled to 5, so this is nothing surprising here. This is interesting, though, because we do get to drop the Dancer. And get the eyes. If they're out of enchantments, this unicorn continuing to tap our stuff is annoying. But now we can use the Grove Dancer to self-mill, allowing us to cast eyes. And I guess we want this on the Dancer. So now we have, if they don't have any enchantments, we have a chump on the unicorn and a trade on the marauder, and maybe we find something to deal with the unicorn. I don't know if we have anything, though, honestly. Nothing we have is, like, inherently for power. But they're showing us more stuff, so continuing to play hasn't been useless. Hey, Miss Muffin, thank you for the raid. Welcome. Muffin crew. We are basically dead here, just trying to get some extra info out of Oppo in game 1 of this best of 3 match. Second snake is not in the deck, but we can add it for sure. I heard dun 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 dun. Did you not hear that? Oh. We're just a little bit behind. All right. Rise to Glory is going to end our glory for this game. Not even mostly dead, just thoroughly dead. But yeah, I do like adding a Viper. I like cutting the hero. Although they are white, so they're more likely to have stuff in the air. They got a... We have some, still have some Air Force of our own, though, in the Pegasus and the Envoy. Not much, gotta be honest. Can we go bigger than them out of the board? Not really, if you look at it. Not really. I mean, we could add Rumbling Sentries. We wanted to add 5 drops, but I think we just gotta stick with the plan. Try to get aggro and try to make it work. How's the intervention in this matchup? Yeah, it's good. They're doing a lot of stuff to intervene with. Craig, Unicorn would be okay, but it presses on our 16 land count in a way that I don't love, but I don't want to go yeah, I don't want to go with the Giants. I don't think they're not how we want to win this game. I think we just want to get under them. So that's what I'm going to try. Yeah, maybe on the draw, says Mike. All right, this is an opener. Wayfarer into Action Town. Right now I'm looking to go Wayfarer into Envoy on 2, attacking for 2. Then hopefully we find some planes from here, and then we can do things like get this Alseid of Life's Bounty down with mana up to protect stuff. And I'll do my level best not to suicide it into combat. Training. Well, Envoy makes the training cheaper, so we're going to go still do the Envoy first here. Yeah, 9-7 might be correct, Coolio. Let's go take a look at that. We do have some 1-drops we're trying to play, though, in green. So it's tough when you're 16 land. And, like, we want trainings on 2, that kind of thing. So I'll take a look at it and make sure, Coolio. But I think we're going to find that we do want enough green that we're going to want to keep it even. There's too much 1- and 2-drop green we're looking for. No, yeah, no question that white is in greater demand. But just because white's in greater demand doesn't mean you match the ratio. If you need green by turn 2, you just got to be a slave to that and not be a slave necessarily to, well, we have more white, you know. Eyes plus training. I want to start on training because it draws us a card. And yeah, we're gonna build a flying beast here. Here comes the planes. Ready? Mike called it, so this isn't even my luck. This is for Mike. This planes we're about to draw is for Mike. Just for you, Mike. I'm gonna go Alseid and keep it up. Mike was suggesting eyes, but I like Alseid. Further pump, leave the protection up for this thing we're trying to build. Yeah, I should have pumped Wayfarer, then they could have both attacked. I lost a point of damage there. They should be at 13 for sure. Little punts, little punts. I'm full of little punts, everybody. But it should be a point of hope for you. Look at how many little punts I can be filled with and still clear 60% win percentage. Yeah, exactly, Sir Elgar. That's my point. Don't get too down on yourself. Just try to learn the lessons. Try. And all right, I'm really glad, for example, we left up Alseid mana. Although, you know, all of these 3 are pretty good. I think we'll save the Envoy if they go for it. But why 2 points of damage, Hannah? I mean, I did get the extra. I did put the, I'll say, the Wayfarer point on the Envoy. So it was only the fact that this 1/2 didn't get in that we lost that. Oh, they're just doing that anyway? Yeah, I mean, I like putting it on the thing you want dead. Maybe they just want that dead. But oh yeah, Wayfarer Pro Black would have been correct. I kind of just arbitrarily did this so I don't do nothing. But Wayfarer on black would have been correct. Although, frankly, I'd like them to attack with the Thief. That's okay. Right? I mean, we don't really mind this. We get in with the Wayfarer easily. So now with... we're about to lose intervention anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and eyes up the Envoy and then Heliod the Nightmare. Because we lose it if we don't. Yeah, we got to, because we're like, what else? We're just holding it instead if we don't. Yeah, it's save graveyard or get 1 point of life, and I think for 1 or for 2 life. So the question is 2 life or save graveyard, and I think the answer is save graveyard. We could cast in response, but like, I mean, I'm already here. I'm just going to do it. This way they don't see we have a Glory Bearers at least, right? War Furnace, Prescient prediction on the future of this Eyes. But here I'm going to max our mana, go for a Glory Bearers over the Spinner. Hoping to dodge bombs here, basically. If we can dodge bombs, I think we're okay. But, you know, if they drop a Shepherd or something, it could be rough. That doesn't seem too bad for us. They can double block the Bearers, but if they spend their whole turn doing that, not the worst. In fact, we can also just Wayfarer the Bearers, and then it gets in cleanly. So let's do that. I'm not going to give him a Wayfarer to just eat, though. We will send only the Bearers. And then playing the Forest, Spinner. Looks like they don't really have time to activate their Apathy, so we're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4 lands off the Spinner. They're double blocking. They must have a White Blessing or something here, or I don't think they would do this double block. So probably losing our Bearers here, but maybe the Spinner Wayfarer combo can still get there. Still traded for 2 cards at least. I don't think it... Did it matter? Oh yeah, it did, right? They could have gotten a 3/4 Thief behind. Yeah. Oppo messed that up a little bit. Wayfarer doesn't do much here. Gonna not bother. Trouble is, we don't get... Oh, we do get it. We have a 3/3 that can attack clean. So, or at least say trade for the Chimera or don't. So we can make an attacker here. Oh, yeah, it's a 4/4 even. Doesn't even trade with the Chimera. Where was I wrong? 1. How do we get 4? 1? Oh, Sentinel's Eyes. I forgot I had 2 auras. I only thought I had 1 aura on the Envoy. Oni! Welcome back to the stream, buddy. That's our friend Oni Spumoni. Always like it when Oni shows up to say hello when he can. Oni is the designer of my stream, really. The visual look of my stream is Oni's doing. So if you like that 80s retro vibe we got going on here, that was his idea and his execution. Thanks, Oni. So I went with the Pious Wayfarer here because we can Grove Dancer, although I was sitting here talking to Oni and not thinking about exactly what the best play is, and maybe I should have just made another land creature. Although Daxo's pretty big there. Grove Dancer is going to be able to make a... What? It's going to get 2/2 on something, but a 4/5 Spinner gets us what? Not much. So, yeah, we will go ahead and just play the Grove Dancer. It doesn't give us attacks, but it does give us width. And now, yeah, we just say pass, And with 4 attackers, we start to get into the place where like we can either make a 5th attacker with the spinner, or if we find another aura or another enchantment to play, then the Wayfarer triggers start to get real. But if they drop, they need to keep pace with our go wide efforts here, or we're just going to get around them. Yeah, Indomitable Will. If they spend a whole turn exiling our envoy, I think that's also good for us. Because that means they're not adding to the board. They're just shrinking our land creatures, which I don't think is enough to be worth 3 of their mana at this stage of the game for them, unless they have nothing else to do. Yeah, in fact, maybe they don't even want to do it if they don't have anything else to do, just because we end up... Okay. So now let's go get Indomitable Will and then attack all. Ooh, Blessing. Do we just want the Blessing instead? Blessing allows us to just kill a blocker, and then Daxos drops to a 2/3. Trouble is we can't use Envoy to be our Blessing target, or else they exile it in response. So, and then we don't, although we can Wayfarer something too big enough to still kill the Chimera. So I'm going to go with the Blessing. And where do we want to put it? Let's put it on Grove Dancer. Will, I think, also does it, but I think this just does it too, right? I mean, it depends on what they have here. And you're here? Nantuko is like, no, you're screwing up. Maybe. I don't know. This is what I found. All right. Well, now maybe we have to hold anyway, because they found this Minions Return play. So, well, I needed to pump 1 Grove Dancer, or else the fight didn't work, right? But maybe I needed to pump 1 of the Wayfarers. But actually, with what Oppo did, we don't get to attack this turn anyway, right? We just don't have it. If we send in, we just lose too much. The reason I wanted to fight the Chimera is because it reduced Daxos' toughness to 3. Jikerman's like, I told you what the winning line was and you didn't take it, and now you're at risk. Good point, Jikerman. Magic's hard. All right, can I try it again? We'll do it your way this time, okay, Jikerman? Funny. Never punished, right? Do we have enough, though? We're only getting in with 1, and they're at 5. Is this even enough? Does it work? People saying it works. We get in, we attack 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 gets by. And we add 4 to it, so they go to 1. Is it worth it to get him to 1? If we eat their blockers, yes. Okay. I think we still go because we can mess their board enough. Oh, right. Daxos life gain. They go to 1, then gain some life, but I think we get enough action out of the board results that we're happy. So, let's see. Chimera is going to make Daxos go to 4. We can't really get rid of Daxos, but we can kill the other 2, right? And... What do you mean, Nantuko? I don't know what you mean. I think this is fine. And I think we go here. Man, this is nerve-wracking. These are the spots where as a streamer, I'm like, I hope I'm not screwing up, but I'm doing what makes sense to me. Still did miss the win, though. We're sitting here playing out a game I already should have won if I had just taken Jikerman's line the first time we had a Pilgrim. That was good, but... and I got to focus on the future, but I do want to acknowledge that we shouldn't even be playing this game right now. We should be in Game 3. Man. All right, well, at least they only had the one thing to return. They're a little bit in desperation mode, and the blessing helps us a lot. Boy. All right, we're going to swing in with everything and then bless our way through. Either for the win or for a key trade, or a key eat. But math is for blockers here. We're just going to keep sending in and try to leverage our draws to win. I don't think they had an aura, maybe. Oh, yeah, they declined an aura. Why didn't they get an aura, too? I don't understand. They had will. That was weird. Maybe they misclicked. G-Pick, when they didn't do one, I assumed they didn't have one, but you're absolutely right. They did. I don't know what the thought was there. So they've left us with 1, 2, 3, and unfortunately only 4, 5 on that. But we will blessing this Pilgrim, eat this Chimera, and accept that this Wayfarer is dead. Oh, pump for the win? Wait. What? How do I get 7? 1. Oh, I didn't see the Wayfarer was getting through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry. Whew. Folks, I didn't see that this guy was getting through. I was counting only 1, 2, 3. So that's why my math was off. But yes, doesn't look like it's just a straight win. Sorry, Oppo, I'm not slow rolling you. I'm just dumb. Yeah, I'm just trying to keep Nantuko's life exciting, apparently. I'm gonna run it back, though. All right, we're getting this. We're gonna win game 3. I can feel it. Come on. little bit dim in here these days. One of my light box bulbs went out, and normally I reorder them on Amazon, but I'm trying to not use Amazon right now if I don't really need to. So we're going to be a little dimmer than usual, both in brain function and light, apparently. Finally, a nice keep. We don't have any of our ones, but this is a lovely little keep. If we can wait to get Sentinel's Eyes on Glory Bearers, we have something to 4 power for the Beetle. So I'm going to move in that direction with a Destiny Spinner play here into... Well, I guess we could do Beetle now. But if they don't play a white card, Destiny Spinner threatens to keep Daxos away. Although... Yeah, let's play the Spinner, because then no matter how big Daxos gets, we have a conceivable block. And we actually win unless they do add to the board. The pips. So what is that about? Could be Mogus's favor after blocks, but unlikely they're going to give up Daxos just to take out the Spinner. So probably means that they have something like a White Omen, and they're just willing to make the Daxos a 2/3, or they have a Blessing and are willing to trade the Blessing for the Spinner. Those are the two things that make sense. Do we care about the Spinner that much? Yeah, it could be Will. They did show us the Will. All right, I'm going to say no blocks. We did see the Indomitable Will, so that's not even a trade for a Blessing. It's a, you know, they would have a 1/4 Daxos or 1/5 Daxos. Now again, we could drop a Beetle and put the Sentinel's Eyes and make a 3/4, but we still don't have blocks in the face of the Will we're expecting from them. And I think we can get away, like, why do you want to attack with the Spinner? If they want to trade here, that's okay. Yeah, Spinner is great. Thing is, Nantuko, they've got a fast start here. Are we going to be blocking? What's our plan? Are we just going to take 5 out of fear of the Will next turn, go to 13? Like, I'm feeling like I don't have a great plan for Oppo's aggression. But I also feel like if we can just make it to the place where we are have a 4 or 5 Glory Bearers, we can actually turn the corner. Man, it's this Eyes and when we play it that matters so much. I'm going to go with my gut and play it pretty risky and try to get Glory Bearers with an Eyes on it. And maybe I just have to give up the Spinner for a trick right now. Like, I can put the Spinner on the Leonin, and then they have to put the Indomitable Will on the Leonin. They get a 4/3. 4/3 is pretty good. I can put the Spinner on Daxos here and make them commit to just putting that there. Well, the thing is, we can hold to make the Beetle bigger and give up the Spinner in the process of that, Nantuko. So what I'm trying to decide, if the fundamental plan is Bearers into Eyes to grow Beetle, okay, then we need Beetle and Bearers and Eyes for that. But Destiny Spinner is expendable here. Right. That's why I kind of want to get this Indomitable Will out now. So as harsh as it is, I like putting it here. Let them go ahead and do it. I know what they're doing here, but I want them to put the Will on Daxos, and then And then Glory Bearers actually blocks Daxos next turn. So we saved some damage and forced the will to the spot where I wanted it. At the cost of a very good card, but... Oh, Moss Viper is a very interesting draw. And I guess now we're on Moss Viper, and then next turn we go Bearer's Sentinel's Eyes. And we go ahead and send in the Beetle. Because we're not blocking with it. Yeah, you want to do full control? We can do it now. Most people aren't really paying attention, so... Alright, great. Daxos is held back. Obviously, we're not going to offer the Viper for that Leonin. We're going to try and start growing our world over here. Blessing is interesting. We'll get back to that, I'm sure, with the Viper, but for right now, following through on Bearers plus Eyes to start growing Beetle. And we hope we don't get our last card stripped here. If we wait a little bit, we can even potentially... Oh, too bad. Apathy messing with our line a bit, but we can re-eyes the Beetle and still get a nice, like, 4/6 fighter. So I got to take this one, too. Looking to get the Beetle big enough to start blocking next turn. Grove Dancer, what does that do for us? Not much. Sometimes I find a line, Nantuko, sometimes. I don't know if it's going to get us. We might have to just give up Viper and Blessing for, like, Daxos, just get that cleared out of the way. But I don't think we need to do that yet. We get to Grove Dancer and... Well, maybe we don't have enough in the yard yet for Eyes. We can Grove Dancer... Self-mill... And then we can Eyes, and then have Blessing for next turn. Training would have been nice, but not essential. I'm going to put the Eyes on the Grove. No, I guess we need to get something that we can be big enough for the Leonin. All right, Oppo is not attacking. That's great. They're out of cards. That's also great. Do we bless away Daxos here? If we do, what does that get us? I mean, I want to try to apply some pressure if we can, like turn that corner, but we're just really not there yet. I'm also a little nervous about just leaving this Blessing in hand, waiting to lose it to something. We could take out Soul Reaper of Mogus, but I think we just hold. Yeah, if they sack, right? Because then we just choose not to fight. Or maybe if you choose the target, it has to. I'm not sure of the rules there, but we're going to hold anyway. Siona. Shall we see if we can hit with her? Siona offers us how many targets? We got 1. Viper, Will, Training. So we only got 3 shots here, but let's take it. All right, we found 1. Good work, Siona. And actually play the land. We end up with possible playing both. Do we want to play both? What is our goal? We can put Will on the Beetle, and then Blessing on the Beetle, killing Daxos. Beetle survives. We have a biggin. If they sack Daxos, there's no damage on the Beetle, so it has a good attack. I think I'm in for that. All right, they went for the draw, which gives us the attack. Only the 1, though. Maybe I was supposed to put something on a Grove Dancer somehow. Yeah, they can favor our Viper. Good on them. Oh, sure, so send it. Fair enough, fair enough. Not sure they're going to do that this turn, though. Not necessarily how they're going to use their mana. I guess if they spend the mana and cards this turn, I wouldn't hate it. If they have nothing else to do, that's, you know, that's probably fine too. Like, that's the more trouble. What? Did they do that too? Again with the, like, did they not? I think they're not reading their own card or something. Oppo. Hey, Sacristy. Read your card, man. Read your card, friend. I'm going to read this card, and you're going to be unhappy. I don't... maybe, but you'd think they'd figure out how to click it the first time it didn't work. Because they've done that twice now. Yeah! Go away, Oppo, go away. Yeah, Keller, I've misclicked once, but Oppo did that twice during the match. I think Oppo has not read Rise properly and thinks it was one or the other. But if in both cases where if they had rised for both, it would have had a huge impact on the game. And there they get rid of our Beetle, you know? Well, maybe not top decking Rabbit Man, but the fact that I put that deck together counts. I can't top deck what I didn't draft and put in my deck. Anybody have something really special and fun they had planned that's been canceled because of virus protection, virus control? I want to validate you if you're feeling lousy about something you don't get to do anymore that you were excited about. You can feel like you're not supposed to feel badly about something small that you've lost when there's something huge going on, but it's okay. You can acknowledge that it sucks to have plans canceled. Yeah, payday is the worst. Sorry, Mac. Keeping this. My son is in a robotics club that has an annual competition in Houston. He has been working all year since the fall. He and everybody on that team have been working so hard on their robot, but nope. Canceled. All right, I was just going to go Envoy here, but since we drew the Wayfarer, what I'm going to do is drop Beetle, and then next turn we get Wayfarer into Envoy to pump the Beetle. Still going Wayfarer, Envoy, but unfortunately the Rage Hound doesn't give us the attack I wanted. So Horn Beetle's gonna have to sit tight. I'm not trading Horn Beetle for a Rage Hound. Ugh, already paid for and reserved to build. Sorry. Sorry, Tron. Huh. Well, they got us anyway. And what do I want to do about this Briared Up Rage Hound? Are we okay with a 3/3, or do we just need to trade with this now? That was a rough open from Oppo. I think we need to trade. I'm going to offer the Wayfarer, and we'll try and we can go Siona into training next turn. Oh, sorry, we can't. We need, that takes 2 green, which we don't have. So, how do we want to do this? I'm going to go with Siona. It's possible we find a single white aura that we can cast with her, and then we get Destiny Spinner training possibilities next turn. There's a training, but didn't find eyes. At least found something. I'm not. Anytime Siona finds me something, I'm like, yes. But we need more green. We're pinched on green right now. There we go. Asked and answered. Although I'm a little nervous about trying for green in the face of open red mana. If they have Red Omen, for example, going for any training here would be bad news bears. So to that end, I think I'm going to start with a Destiny Spinner and see what they do. Look for a pause. See the pause? This pause makes me think I don't want to do this training. Also, they know we have the training, so they could be setting up for that. But now we survive Red Omen. There are some deal 3 instants in... Beard, I wanted to play the spinner just to look for the pause first. No, training is the ETB draw. So not running the training out into open red mana. And even 4 red mana means they could 3 damage at instant speed, so even putting it on the spinner isn't safe. I'm going to go ahead and send in, see what they want to do, and I'm just not going to play trainings into all this open mana. If they want to do nothing, great. Oh, Cardboard Live, let me see. Sorry, that's probably... Oh, well, maybe. Is Cardboard Live working for some people? Let's see. Yeah, it's working. Try a refresh if it's not working for you. Man. The Siona is a cast trigger, by the way, so we would get the Siona trigger. Dionysus with the 14-month sub. Thank you, man. Good to have you here. Some say I never heard of ya. A rap burglar. And a gift sub. Well, same situation. We're looking at a possible instant speed removal situation. I'm not falling for it. We could offer... I am willing to offer a land, though. Let's offer a land. Maybe tempt them if they want to use some removal on killing our land. I'm down with that. But we're not sending anything but these 2. Or if they want to trade their hound for it, I'm also okay with that. Okay, so what they had was not the trick I was afraid of, but I still like our caution. Let's see, does this get first strike or anything? We could double block here if we thought it was super important, but we can also train, fight. Or train and fight. Train and blessing. Train and blessing doesn't get it done. Does it have first strike right now? Wait. No, that was a last turn. Okay. So we could make the trade. Yeah, I think we kind of have to. It doesn't have trample and doesn't have first strike. They still have 3 mana open, which is scary. But I also don't think we're in a spot where we can do much about it. If we draw a forest, we can go training, blessing with the envoy. Oh, even that doesn't do it, huh? Well, I don't think we can beat it if we don't deal with it, so we got to try. Yeah, Red Omen is a blowout. That's what I'm... but sometimes you get to a point in a game where you can't beat the thing they have, right? We can't sit here and take 8-4. If they have the blowout, they have the blowout. Coolio says, no, don't do this. But Coolio, we are at 20, but we take this, we go to 12, and then what's the plan for next turn? I need a better plan. Do you want to wait a turn and bring Siona up to 4 power? What's our plan if we don't? All right, we'll take it for a turn here and try and get Siona to produce. Okay, and the forest is good as well. So I'm going to go for a training on Siona. If they have something, or let's see, if we go for... No, if they have the Red Omen, I should go for Spinner. Trouble with training on Envoy is that it doesn't get... I want to get to 4 power on something so that we can trade for this if we have to. But I hear also the call of just chump, chump, chump endlessly. But let's start with training on Spinner. I'm going to start with training on Spinner. Nice. Okay, see, that makes me not want to spread it. That makes me want to train up the Spinner again and just eat that thing. That's not bad for us either. Now we have a plan to make Destiny Spinner Pro Red to eat the Underworld Ragehound. And if that plan falls apart, we at least have chumps. Yeah, we could give Pro Red and fight as well, but we can kind of just do the Pro Red thing here and eat it for free and then keep the fight card. So, Sir Elgar, your plan gets it dead sooner, but with the forced attack, we should just kind of wait. Welcome it with, come to me, Ragehound. Come to me. Yes, Ragehound. They got some trample, but still a great block for us. And Heliod's Intervention is going to be our play here over bothering with the Blessing. Let's just beat face here. Do we just win? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? This should be lethal unless they have something in hand. All right. Up a game. Looking for more. Red-green, not going to have much flyers, so we don't need, like, the Wardens. Does suggest another Viper is a good call. And we've been plucking out the Hero of the Winds to bring in that other Viper. That's been fine. Yeah, not double blocking worked out. The thing that got me to change my mind on that was the acknowledgement that we could go training, and make a single 4-power creature and not have to lose one of those 2 really good creatures. So I almost double blocked and then decided, okay, we can take it once to set up this very specific play. And then we got lucky and drew an Alseid, and it changed our plan entirely. Anyway, Hero again? All right, we'll cut Hero again. It's pretty underwhelming. That is not the opener we're looking for, although if you could show me the planes on top, I would keep. As it is, we got a mulligan. And this kind of stinks, but we're going to keep this. I don't want to go to 5. We can cut a plains, knowing that we really ultimately need to find a forest for this hand to really work. So I'm going to cut a plains, be a little greedy, and hope we find forest. There it is. If they go for a Rage Hound, I'm going to go ahead and get it. Right? We make a 2-5 fight. London Mulligan is great for limited. If they wanted to change it for constructed, oh, wait. Oh, sorry. Okay. I thought for a second I had put +1 on the Rage Hound, which would have been Sad Town. Yeah, my coffee is flowing as well. Siona, well, it's attack first. If we find something with Siona, we can't cast it this turn anyway, so might as well attack. All right, Siona, I think we've hit every time so far. Maybe there was one miss. Anyway, come on, Siona, one more time. Hit us. Yeah. Never didn't hit with Siona. And I'm thrilled to see Oppo doing that on their 3rd turn. And I'm thrilled to see them doing that on their 4th turn. I think we're going to get there. This is a bit monstrous, really. And I'm going to go with Bearers as the greatest power. Sun Maiden Pegasus is a better card than the Bearers, but with our board advantage, we're going to go with the highest power and another Wayfarer trigger. Oh, did we get Heliod moved to the bottom? They could be playing into the 4-mana Wrath, the red Wrath, I suppose, but I tend not to play around the rares till they show it to me. It was in the Siona pile, got it. And I like training here on Siona with the trigger on Siona, and then all 3 of our creatures are good attacks. Oh, maybe Siona still isn't. But it would be trample-y. Maybe we want to do that anyway. Let's go... Yeah, I think I am going to send in Siona, and if they want to block the Trampler with their Rage Hound and take the trade, that's cool. Oh, with Bears, yeah. Although, honestly, I didn't think about that, so we'll put it here anyway. Oppo can take 8, but we're pretty happy about that. As I say, this seems like a return to nature. I can't think of anything for... Although, why didn't they do it? I think they could have saved 3 damage. I'm not sure what they were waiting for. Maybe they thought we might do something else? They give up. All right. I'll take it. Look at that, everybody. Yeah, maybe they're playing around Blessing. Yeah, Haj, that's interesting. I think they were concerned about what we might have, but I think they were playing around stuff they didn't have the luxury of playing around. Classic playing around stuff they can't beat if we had it. So they should have just assumed we didn't, I think. That's how I would have approached that. 3-0, though. 3-0 with the grind means profit. Let's see if we can't get another. That looks good. None of our ones, but other than that, looks very good. Probably going to lead on Envoy so that we can get a cheap training in case we don't find additional lands. I know a lot of people are listening without watching, so maybe would it help, let me know, if you want to poke out of your hiding to let me know. Is it helpful to be like, hey, we have Forest, Plains, Sentinel's Eyes, Envoy, Pegasus, Spinner, Training, and Heliod? And then, would it be helpful for me to tell you what my opening hand is, for example? Going to go Envoy. Now we're looking for land. We're out of lands in our hand, but we have the training. All right, so we did not find a third land on our third turn. So we did draw Sentinel's Eyes, and I'm going to put the training on Envoy as intended. And we really want to find... Gosh, either land would do, but I think if we find a forest, we could play the Spinner. That would be ideal. So we're training the Envoy, and... Hey, we found the forest. Very nice. And Spinner doesn't trigger anything, so we're going to just play that post-combat and attack with our 2/2 Trampling Envoy into their Envoy. Still looking for land, though. We've got some good uses for land. If we find Heliod triggers would be nice. I'll just try and mention the opener, Tron. Feels like if I just list out what's in the opener and what I draw, then people can kind of track from there. We pulled a forest this time, so that's excellent. We got our... ideally it would be a plains, but we can go Sunmane Pegasus to max our mana here. We've got Dreamstalker Manticore across the way. If we put Sentinel's Eyes on Destiny Spinner, we get a 3/4 Vigilance that still trades with the Manticore, so we don't want that. We're going to go into the air here. I'm going to go with the Pegasus. Then if we find Plains, we get Heliod with activation. And this turn, we still get in with the Envoy. None of our creatures are 1 toughness, so the Manticore doesn't threaten to, like, ping something out of the sky or anything. That's nice. Omen of the Forge, though, is going to take out our Envoy here. Well, we drew another white card in the Pious Wayfarer, and we only have 1 Plains to our 3 Forest and a grip full of white, so we're in a little bit of a rough spot from that standpoint. I'm going to go ahead with Heliod. Figuring that if we do get another planes, we'll be happy to have his abilities. Although maybe I'm just doing that because he's mythic. I mean, Pegasus already activates for the Heliod ability anyway. But Heliod out means the lifelink actually produces some value, right? So yeah, I'm going to put out Heliod because if we do find our planes, there's value. And even if we don't... Oh, Oppo paused, by the way. Oppo paused on the Heliod cast. I'm now a little bit worried that they have the tools to get rid of the Pegasus if I attack. So I'm going to take a conservative line here and not attack. It might be something like that, but in case it's a second Omen, I really don't want to give up my Pegasus. I think the Pegasus is going to do too much important work with the Heliod. And they're offering it here as well. Like, no, I'm not falling for it, Oppo. Blessing gives us a second play because it's green. Blessing off the top. We could go Blessing Activate. But I suppose with this situation, I like just activating the Pegasus for its inherent lifelink vigilance. If it connects, Heliod triggers off the lifelink, and then we can Blessing afterwards if we decide it's correct. Where to put the counter? I think we just keep putting it on the Pegasus, increase our lifelink, and increase the ability of that creature to survive. We could now fight. We could Blessing the Envoy, and if they have another Omen, it's not enough. So we could even fight like the Manticore, and it wouldn't be enough. And if we Bless now, this is lifelink, and we get another counter, so I'm definitely going to do it. Let's do it. I don't think I guess they could have sack something and deal 5. Like, if they had sack and deal 5, that would have been rough for us. And, yeah, with the aspect, we don't want to Bless the Manticore. I'm just going to take out the Envoy. I don't want to do anything that might kill... I guess I could take out the Rage Hound as well. But we already have that block if we want it. I'm just going to take out the Envoy as the safest thing. Because really all I want is I want the counter on the... another counter to throw around. And I think I will put the counter on the Spinner. Spread out our counters a little bit here. 2 to the top for Oppo. That's not great for us. But I'm going to spread out then in case they've got some removal.
Some say I never heard of ya. A rap burglar.
Thank you, Trip. Appreciate the sub. What did they keep top? Better be impressive. Are they going to, like, steal and sack somehow? All right, intervention is pretty good. That's a keeper. Straight up removal for our big dude. I'm glad we spread out the counters a little bit with that in mind. Do they have another Red Omen? You know what? I'm gonna call. I'm gonna say, show me you've got it, Oppo. Haj wants no block. I guess we've been playing around the Red Omen, right? Yeah, you're right. I'm being greedy. I really want to. I'm doing the thing where, well, the Rage Hound has to attack, so it's a good block, right? I think chat is right. Chat is talking me off the edge. But it speaks to what I've talked about the secret upside to attacks each combat if able. The secret upside to attacks each combat is able is that it can trick me into doing things like blocking, thinking it's free and clear. All right, great. Finally found another planes. Now we can go Wayfarer into Eyes, or we can just go yeah. I am going to go Wayfarer and then Eyes. It doesn't get any life this turn, but it's an awful lot of damage. And we get a Vigilant 4/5. back on D. Close to getting to where we're just going to activate Spinner for that value anyway. Okay, see now they okay, if they have the Omen, but if they had Infuriate, they still would hold that back. That's fair. All right, I'm gonna say no blocks again. Intangible wants to block. I'm with the crowd that says just take it. We have so much lifelink thanks to Heliod that we don't have to be that risky. And I'm gonna go another pair of eyes. We could go on Wayfarer to keep it even a little bit, but I'm gonna just put it on Spinner. Hodge says attack first, but I'm gonna put another eyes on the Spinner to get an extra lifelinky attack. Oh yeah, I know. I'm just not worried. Like we're gonna do this next turn. I'm gonna go for big damage and lifelink this turn. Oh wait, cancel. Although they do have a double block here. Are we okay with the double block? If they double block... So I can also wait. We can also just wait and activate lifelink on defense. They have a reasonably full graveyard. Yeah. We could also send in the wave. Nah, yeah, we'll just say no attacks this time. We don't have quite the toughness to get through here. And then now I'm comfortable blocking because 7 toughness blocking 3 power. I don't know. They would have to have something. I guess a blessing could finish it off post-combat. Erois's, the red blessing. But at least we're above Omen mana now. Omen toughness, rather. Like, we survive Omen if we make this block, which is why I'm going to do it. They could still have a 3 damage spell, but at some point we gotta do our thing. Oh wait, cancel. Wrong trigger. Keep making this thing bigger, I think. Although if they have the blessing, it's gonna die. Okay, sorry, that wasn't a new hound. I thought it was yet another hound. Intervention is an instant, so we can actually send in, although they have the double block with hounds alone at this point. So let's just keep everything back, and we'll keep up. I guess there's not a world in which we need 4 mana on the intervention, but I'm going to do it in case. We could attack with land and give it lifelink, but I'm pretty happy to sit here chewing up dogs. We can attack land and give it lifelink. Like, I like the defensive play here with the dogs that are forced to attack every turn. And I'm going to trade off a Wayfarer now for one of the 3/1 hounds. And they didn't show anything to provide 3 damage last turn, so I'm going to do it here. Yeah, that's true. We can make this, we can do instant speed lifelink. All right, Manticore. That's weird. It's not enough, is it? Oh, because they're going to ping me. No, it's their turn, so that doesn't do it. So we eat that. They're out of cards. Yeah, I'm just going to give them both lifelink. Yeah, Oppo realized the mistake. All right. Up 1. Match 4. Boros Hound Aggro. So we really want to make sure we're blocking hounds. That means I do want the Wardens. Wardens is very good against hounds. And a Viper is reasonable against hounds. We got to come up with a second cut in that case. Maybe we just cut, maybe we don't run 2 Vipers. I mean, they're just 1-for-1s with the Hound. Whereas what I like about the Wardens is that they just eat hounds. So I'm going to do that. I'm not going to put in another Viper. We're going to bring this against the Hounds and go with that. Keeper Boy asks if there's a significant difference in deck quality, oppo strength, in traditional versus best of 1. The relative quality of your opponents to what you're used to depends on your rank in best of 1. If you have a high rank in best of 1, you're going to find traditional to have lower skilled players than you're used to, but if you have a low rank in best of 1, they may be even better. Oh my goodness, give me 1 forest in this hand and we love it. Like 1 forest and this is just fist pump heaven. As it is, we have an interesting call. Do you want to mulligan this or keep it? I'm going to ask chat. Not necessarily going to listen to you, but I'm going to ask you. One thing about this keep is that Pilgrim on 3 gives us something for sure for the Wayfarer. And if we find a forest, we are so golden. And Oppo is taking a mulligan. All right, everyone wants to keep. Yeah, I think the maybe it wasn't a good poll then if everybody had the same idea. But Pious into Pilgrim is good enough to keep here. And if we get a forest, all the better, right? And here it comes, right? Oh, are we in the Matrix? Am I the star of the Matrix? If so, we're going to draw a forest. Because Dancer on 2 after Wayfarer on 1 would be slick as crap. No, but we do have a Eat the Rage Hound if we want it. I think we do. We have seen Omens, though. That's where it gets a little bit tricky. That being said, we would be happy to play, to block with the Wayfarer just to trade. So I'm going to say no, and then we're going to make that block. But if they don't do anything, I think I might just let the trade happen. Okay, perfect. Perfect. They went for it like this. We're going to save it. Now, it takes 2 damage, so if we want to trade with the Hound, it's an actual trade. And I don't think I want to do that. What we're going to do is probably Pilgrim next turn anyway, and then Pilgrim makes a reasonable trade for the Hound. And we can get Will or Eyes. Which do you like better? Eyes. Not as much toughness, but the Vigilance. Yeah, Vigilance and the reuse is better. Let's get an Eyes. Exactly. Pilgrim has already done its job. Wayfarer has more work to do. Manticore? I'd be fine with that. Go for it. Trade for anything here. No? Not the color we're looking for, but we do get to play the Eyes and attack. Really need a forest now, or we're going to start to fall behind. Quasi-free block, but we have seen Aspect of Manticore from Oppo, and I don't want to bother blocking here. Find a forest, it unlocks so much, so let's look for that answer. Another eyes. So 3/4 does block Rage Hounds, so we're not finding our green, so we're gonna have to play like they don't have anything. Which is to say, block the Rage Hound. Although if they attack with both, we might have to reconsider blocking the Rage Hound. If they send in the Evangel, they're just screaming that they have the Manticore. So, yeah. I think it's a Manticore trade if we do, and we have no other plays, so I gotta take it. Thing is, I don't mind losing the Sentinel's Eyes to the graveyard if we had green to put them on something else, but we just don't. So I'm gonna take this. Forest off the top at any point would be awesome for us for lots of reasons. There it is, there it is. Got our forest. Now, what are we doing? Always the question once you find your action. We can play the Grove Dancer, and it pumps the Wayfarer. And I think I'm down for that. And then I'm willing to put the Grove Dancer. Well, if we Blessing and they have a response, it could be bad for us. That's what I'm worried about, Haj. Maybe I'm worried about something that doesn't exist, though. Is there, what, you know... If we Blessing the Evangel, we're looking at a 4/7, and if they have a 4/7, we beat the Evangel even in that spot. They would have to do the they have to have the sack deal 5. There is the Surge, that's true, but if they have Surge, it's not going to do anything yet. Hacking points out some things to worry about. But I'll go for it. I'm going for it. We're running out of clock. And yeah, actually we can order it. Let's order it this way so that if they do have it, they don't get to use it. Kind of an unusual order to do this in, but it is going to get us this fight before a possible Surge. Looks like they had nothing but a sack for Scry. One top, one bottom. So they like what's on top, but it could just be like their second planes, right? They might be keeping land to unlock plays from their hand. We're going to race, though. Get them to 8. We'll go to 7. Oh, actually, we have the block. They haven't shown anything. I'm going to block. All right. They had a Fateful End. They must have just drawn that, right? I mean, I guess that we knew they liked what was on top. But I'm cool with this. Oh, we really want more green. But Siona here. Indomitable Will. Nice. Thank you, Siona. However, with all this stuff, we're going to go for certainly a Sentinel's Eyes. We can double eyes or leave the will up. I suppose we don't need to leave the will up if we go for the double eyes, though. Still, it might get him. Like, we can eyes next turn. I like leaving the will up. I mean, they know we have it, though. I guess they know we have it. Haj wants to leave up the will, though. Even though they know we have it, it's still pretty good. Don't we? We do. Blessing. Blessing. Pilgrim. Geez, do we even have anything left? Maybe this is the Pilgrim problem showing itself. Oh, no, we have a training, so we even still get one more card off the Pilgrim. Training's actually not a bad one to get. I kind of like running out the Pilgrim before we do draw our final aura. So I'm going to go for the training here. And we can go Grove Dancer Eyes. If we go Eyes on the Siona, we get a 4/4, which is not enough to do much. But then, yeah, we can attack with Will up and they can't really block. Then we can follow with the Grove Dancer. That makes some sense too. I like it. Yeah, I suppose we could have played the Will at the end of their turn. Robert. Looks like Oppo had enough. We did it. Now the real profit begins on 4 wins. Oh, yeah. All right, let's close out a nice 5-0. How about that? Open some packs and complete our rares. I think no matter what, we should probably finish our 4x of rares for Theros today. That's cool for free to play. Then we're chasing down the final 16 mythics we're missing. System is trying to find somebody with my record. Looks like they found someone. All right, Muglin. Let's do this. Yeah, we'll keep that. Spinner into Heliod into Hero is a fine opening sequence. There, that's the order of our plays. The rare uncommon that is Destiny Spinner. If that had a rare symbol on it, I wouldn't even blink. Looks like a rare card to me. Tomorrow, Palatero Man 8, but that was news. They have added it back in response to the self-quarantining that's going on in the world with coronavirus, and Wizards of the Coast trying to give us some stuff to do at home. It could, if I were making this rare, I think if you made the activated ability 2 and a green, then you have a legit good rare that might even see constructed. Like 2/3 for 2 is already solid, and then completely shutting out counterspells, also solid, you know? So I hear you. It would be a little bit underwhelming as a rare, but the point is you could accept it. Like, you'd say, okay, I can see that that's got some rare stuff going on. Okay, well, we have Wayfarer or Blessing. If we do Wayfarer, we can actually do Lifelink here and still have the Blessing. Let's wait on Hero and then have Wayfarer, Blessing, and Lifelink available this turn. And with the lifelink, I like attacking. We can even Blessing for the win on that if we want, but they're not taking it, so we'll go counter on Spinner. And drop the Wayfarer. Oh man, tell me about it, Palatero. I've been doing that myself. Not remembering those abilities. Wow, they're racing against Heliod. We're thrilled with that. So, question is, do we want to Blessing and block here? We can make a 3/4 and eat the Oracle. I think that's worth it. We're gonna attack both. This can't block. We save damage. We get rid of an Oracle. I'm gonna do it. Blessing is pretty valuable in this deck, so it was a tough call, but with Heliod about to make our stuff bigger via lifelink, I think I'm fine with that. And Pilgrim is nice, but I'm just gonna double lifelink at this point. I don't see how Oppo wins against double lifelink and us adding counters in the process every turn. Turns out Heliod, solid magic card for limited. Definitely one here, and I'm going to put the other on the Spinner, because we're one counter away from getting the Spinner out of even the 5 damage range. And also, if they manage to kill our Wayfarer, like 4/5 can attack through a Flummox Cyclops. Yeah, out of Blessing range is a good call too, Chunk. There's like, that's the thing with red in this set. There's key 2 damage spells, 3 damage spells, 4 damage spells, and 5 damage spells at common and uncommon in red. So there's something to be thinking about in terms of damage level, basically at every level with red. And here we get Bounty. Yeah, I don't know how they are going to race successfully, but I think I like Bounty. If we Pilgrim, we could also get Blessing and just bless kill Renata. Maybe we should just do that. Like, Bounty double lifelink would be good, but there you go. I mean, they didn't even want to go any farther with us getting the... a little tilty from Oppo. I mean, I think if they, like, we don't have an Apathy, so they could have seen, like, what we have, you know. Green-red aggro. We're going to bring in our friend the Viper. Didn't see any Hounds. Last deck had just endless Hounds that we were kind of protecting against. Hero never even saw the battlefield here. I'm going to drop it out again. Get even leaner and meaner. But beyond that, I think that's what we got for this. We've basically sided out Hero for Viper in 90% of our games or so. You know, 80, 90%. Like, the only time we didn't do that is when we brought in a different Viper card to block Hounds. So Hero was cut basically every time. All right. No 2 yet, but this looks sweet. We got... Here's our hand in play order. Why would you like Warden? The life gain? I want to be more proactive if I can, but you're not wrong that Warden would be okay. If they show a lot of Hounds, I would love the Warden, but I want to see that 1/4 matches up with what Oppo is doing. I wish they had done something. We do have training onto the Wayfarer, but if they have the Omen, we get blown out. So it's pretty risky. We've seen the Omen. I'm not going to do it. We can at least follow with the Viper, so we have a play. Oppo's stuck on 2. Does that mean we risk the training? I don't think it does. I think it means we just play the Pilgrim and keep playing out our game and make sure that they don't get to blow us out with the handful of resources they do have. I didn't see... Was there no pause? Maybe if there's no pause, I can do it. But I'd still rather just attack and lay out the Pilgrim. It's fine. And then we'll watch here. No pause. So now we can be pretty comfortable that we're not playing around a red Omen. And figure out which card we want here. Let's just get the removal spell. Although Eyes might be the pick, since we don't even know that... I mean, they haven't played anything. If they don't play a land and they don't do anything, we would really rather have the Eyes. But removal spell says, yeah, you can't really play anything without us being able to get you. So I'm going to take it. We might not be able to play this next turn, but if not, we have fine plays with the Glory Bearers and stuff. So take the removal, don't be fancy play, and boom, just like that. Some days Magic is easy, and despite all your efforts to make punts small and large, you still 5-0 it. All right, very nice. Let's grab this prize. And let's go open some packs. Normally I wait till 10, but we're so close to... I think I did save it. I saved it earlier, Sir Elgar. If someone wants to battle me best of 1, I would take that on. There's one of our rares. Now we should be getting Temple. Another Temple. Oh, Mythic. All right, one of the Mythics we're missing. First Clovis. There's the Temple. I think that means we're 4x'd, everybody. Yay! 4x on rares. Queen, welcome. How'd it go? I mean, you're here talking to us, so I imagine it could have gone worse. 20 gems on the grind. Now we're officially grinding gems on the rares. All right, 40 more to add on the results for the grind. So that's 160 on the grind. We called this Sun in Your Eyes. 5-0, everybody. Sweet. Thank you for your support and your ideas and your lines and your tolerance of my punting. There you go, Intangible. Well, it's a good tool. Thank you for the idea. I don't know who pointed that website out to me first. Was it Mama? I don't know. Queen Dragon feeling good post-surgery, sharing a sub with the community. Very nice. Thank you, Queen. Are we drafting again? I could do the draft and quit thing. I'm not going to be playing a ton more. In fact, let's start by saying goodbye to our YouTube friends, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do with a little bit more time with the rest of you. Thank you so much for hanging out for that. That was sweet. 5-0. You got it. We'll catch you tomorrow, okay, YouTube?